In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl, I'm playing Kashi Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cleric of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Hello, everyone.
Hello, dear man.
How are we all?
Good.
Doing well.
Right.
Welcome.
Good. We all seem beautiful and lovely on this fine merry evening, so shall we start session 5?
If we have to.
Please.
With one of these and one of
Oops.
The world of Faerun is a mystical and magical place, filled with things that can be seen yet still not believed. It is a place of fascination and wonder, of the laws of reality warped and bent by powers and magics gifted by gods. It is this backdrop that stands as a stage for adventurers across the realms. In their time together, the Warhounds have encountered many threats in many shapes, sizes, and forms, and always emerged victorious. Accompanied by Helenus Fish and the mage Axicas of the Stalwart Society of Adventurers, our heroes venture further into the King's Forest on the hunt for a threat they have not yet faced. After all, can anyone truly be considered an adventurer if they've not faced a dragon?
Ooh, I forgot about that part.
How can you forget about a dragon?
I don't know, I've just short-term memory.
Selective memory.
Yeah, blocked it out.
If you don't think about it, you don't have to deal with it.
Yep, pretty much.
So, we find you. You are all currently in the Blushing Maiden, a relatively high quality, like a high flying tavern in the forest town of Deadluke. You have discovered that the mercenaries you were sent to recruit by Agatha Fish, the leader of the local Radron forces out in Fort Lymera, happens to be Agatha Fish's daughter, Helenus Fish, and the tiefling mage Axicas, who you have adventured with in the past. You met them all the way back in Hullock Forest at the start of your adventure, and they've kind of been around in between Hullock Forest and the present day. So we pick up as the sounds of the tavern patrons around you begin to kind of rise. The conversation starts to flash back into life as the sounds of the front door swinging open swings open as Ameline, or Slate in the form of Ameline, is escorted from the building by a charmed purple dragon who is under the impression that Ameline is about to be very, very sick Katja is stood on a table singing songs to entertain the room, and the 5 other charmed purple dragons who were about to start trouble take their seats, blissfully unaware. Utterly captivated, by Katja's performance. And the words from Axakas's mouth ring in your echo. They echo in your ears as she says, "A dragon hunt, yes?" What do you do?
Badger looks confused.
Balthazar will go, wait, a dragon? I thought we were gonna get, like, kobolds or, like, bandits or something. What do you mean we're gonna go get a dragon?
Catcher slips a note.
Helenus looks to you, and there's almost like a mix of, it's a mix of a smirk, but there's still, notes of seriousness on her face. As she looks to you and says, "Well, normally the purple dragons would be on the lookout for dragons themselves, but it would seem that they are," and she kind of leans to the left in her chair slightly to look past Axakas and Balthazar to the purple dragons on the table, like a few tables over. They seem a bit stretched, looking for bandits, was it?
So, wait, if we hadn't walked in here, would you two have just waltzed off and found this dragon on your own? And he's looking at us with a kind of a fair play. That's ballsy.
The two women look to each other and then look you up and down and, well, yeah, says Helenus. But we wouldn't turn down some company. I mean, if you're feeling generous, we could almost consider you as collateral.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Hiram, what's Hiram's thoughts on the matter?
I mean, we do have supplies we need to deliver.
So Axakas rounds back onto some of the deal. We've already been tasked with. We've already accepted the job to find this dragon. The sooner that we find it, the sooner that we will come with you to visit Helenus' mother.
You say that, but we
Yes.
had a job to begin with, which turned into 2 other side quests, and then we are now picking up side quests within the side quest, and I'm getting the horrible feeling that we are never going to finish this goddamn job.
Hang on, you said find the dragon.
Yes.
If we find it, can we leave it alone and come back?
Well, yes. Whilst I admire the strength of all of you, individually and as a group, I think it would be unwise to assume that you could tackle a dragon.
Badger just looks quietly over at Zombo, just with a bit of a, were you going to let that one lie?
Zombo's chontuing into his drink that he's been eaten by bigger things than a dragon.
The purple dragons. The purple dragons put in a request to the Stalwart Adventurers that we would. The Stalwart Adventurers would send a party to investigate the reports of a dragon in the forest, and if these reports are confirmed, and it is indeed, if the lair of this dragon is found, we are to report back to the purple dragons, and they will dispatch their best hippogriff knights to deal with the problem.
Oh, okay, so just find dragon. Okay.
Find the dragon.
It seems simple enough. As leader, I say we do it.
What the flip?
Okay then.
I do want to point that we are not the stealthiest of people.
Oh, I don't know. That stealth mission into the bandit camp went off like without a hitch.
Oh yeah, totally. No
Helenus-
hiccups at all.
Up until the point it didn't, it was fine.
Helenus kind of gives a shrug as you say that. Axicas, like this, given her tiefling heritage, the fact that she flashes you this devilish smile, just the hint of the fanged teeth poking out from her top lip, as she says, "Well, sometimes when you are trying to be sneaky, the presence of bait is a welcome addition, a distraction, if you will."
Who is she looking at as she says that?
Her eyes. She's primarily just looking Balthazar up and down. But then she hears you take a loud gulp, and her eye. She just kind of starts giving you, Zumbo, a side eye. You in your bright blue and yellow coat.
Don't know what you're talking about. I'm built for stealth. I'm sure me and Bakru can handle being bait. We've pulled off mightier jobs.
Aja, can I have a word with you?
Sure!
Very quietly.
Badger jumps down from her stool, pats over to Hiram a few feet away from the table. What's up?
I don't want to do this.
Oh. Why not?
I really don't want to do this.
Sounds exciting.
Sounds like fire and death, and I had enough of that for a while.
Ooh, boy. That's a very good point. Well, Hiram, if you want to take the supplies back to Agatha, that is fine. I feel bad us not having you with us, though, for something like this. Shall we put it to the team, see what they want to do?
Maybe, if it's okay.
Of course.
As they return, Balthazar is talking with Zumbo about tactics, about how to run and hide, and maybe Zumbo jumps onto the Balthazar's back and they run, and then he launches all kinds of outlandish techniques to evade a dragon. So we could do that, right? Like that could work.
I lad, I'm pleased to see you getting into the spirit of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now everybody, listen up.
As you try to get the attention of Zumbo and Balthazar, who are currently crashing around the Blushing Maiden, the door opens, and the door to the Blushing Maiden opens, and a noble woman steps into the tavern with a flick of her hair. Her red hair kind of careens down just past her shoulder, and as you look upon her, you know one of the standout features are the impossibly sharp high cheekbones and a delicate but sharp nose. And what does this figure do?
Just happily skips back to the group. Hi! And sits down and starts drinking.
Is it Ameline or is it not Ameline?
It's not Ameline.
Is this
Zumbo?
Is this a slate form we've seen before? Asks Julia out of character.
I don't think we have we?
No, I really don't think we have. Does she remind us of anyone in terms of her features?
I would say yes. I'd hope so.
Okay. Well,
But not
tell you what.
the same as
Tell you what,
anyone.
Wait.
For those of you who are
Anybody
present,
can't say twin of Rufus.
1,
That's
2,
what
3,
I'm thinking.
4.
Yeah.
Who have I missed? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, Balthazar. Cool. So tell you what. Everyone, roll me a history check. Balthazar and Zumbo roll with disadvantage. No, let's be friendly. Everyone but Balthazar and Zumbo rolls with advantage.
Oh, sorry.
And
Can
we
I
roll with
lie?
disadvantage.
Can I
Roll
redo
again.
You can roll again if need be.
Yeah.
Catcher gets a 17.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Badger also gets a 6
Okay.
on advantage.
12.
12 for Hiram. Zumbo
No,
gets
16.
16. Catcher gets a 17. Okay, so Catcher and Zumbo, as you eye up this this newcomer, you notice that she bears a striking resemblance to the long red-haired fellow that Slate parades around as sometimes. Rufus, you think his name is? But this is clearly not Rufus. I should.
Sorry, are you looking for someone?
Hi there.
No,
Oh.
I'm just gonna sit here and just enjoy my drink. And picks up Ameline's drink and starts drinking it.
Oh, that's very familiar.
Ooh, it's quite strong, isn't it? Oh,
Can we get you a drink?
yeah. Is there anything a bit nicer, less strong, less alcohol-y?
I mean, I'm sure we can find something. I'm sorry, we didn't catch your name.
Oh, sorry. You, yes. Oh, silly me. I'm Rowan. Come on, we must have met
Rowan.
before.
I think we would remember. Are you
Oh,
here
well,
on business, Rowan?
Nice to meet you, Ron.
Just real quick, I'm going to interject. Have Zumbo and Balthazar met Slate in Slate State?
Well, I think Slate's done quite a lot of like very short changes that Zumbo would have seen, but I'm not sure I think he's probably long given up on trying to remember their names.
Well, wasn't Slate and Default in the tavern between?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Of course. Okay, yeah. In which case, you the five of you kind of start to tweak that. You think this Rowan character is another form of Slate, one that you have not met before.
Rowan's just kicking her feet under the table, like like drumming on the table.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, shiny man.
My name's Balthazar.
How lovely! Well, my name is Rowan. It's Rowan. Rowan.
Rowan.
All right.
Well,
There we go.
Rowan, what would you like to eat and drink?
Something sweet. Cake. Is there cake?
see if-
Sort of sweet treats, sweetmeats. Anything.
We'll see if they do cake.
Yes.
Helenus and Axicas are sat kind of between you and the wall on this table, like under this beautifully this beautiful 20-foot long, slightly glowing elven tapestry, and they're just looking at you all. And there's this look of utter bewilderment on Helenus's face as she looks from you collectively to this new redhead woman that's just arrived, sat down, started drinking one of your accomplices' drinks, and is now being bought food and more drink. And she eventually loses her rag, and I'm sorry. Do you know her?
I'm
Yes, I
not
do.
sure.
In a way, yes.
The two Stalwart Adventurers just kind of look from side to side, and Axicas kind of rolls her eyes and, well, is your new friend joining us, or is the other lady joining us?
I imagine Drool comes up, sniffs Rowan's hand, and then plonks his head into her lap and just huffs.
Which is confirmation. Cool.
Voucher
Do
goes.
you
Sorry, go ahead, Al.
do you mean Ameline? Oh, she was outside. She took a turn for the worst, and she had to get that poor guard to go and run to Arbor's Rest to get some medicine. So I think she's going to be out for the count for a while. But I'm here, and much more fun if you're honest about it, you know?
Wait, DM Dan, question.
Yeah.
Because would Rowan have Slate's like backpack or belongings, or would they be at the table? They would be at the table. But like,
Yeah.
She'd be in the red
Theoretically,
dress.
yeah. You've
might
just
have
seen
changed.
you've seen Rowan come in a. Is the dress ill-fitted compared
Yes.
to Aveline? Oh right. Okay.
So same dress, but obviously okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit the same, right?
Yeah, so, Yeah, because when Slate transforms, they assume their new form, but their clothes don't change unless they actively change.
Chiron or whatever's
In-
just appeared in a dress and then
Yeah.
has to
Yeah.
go and
It's
change.
happened quite a few
happened, yeah.
times.
Happens more than you think. Yeah,
And I will remember that for future reference.
old man
One
in a
day,
beautiful slinky red
Slate
dress.
will find the dress that fits them the best.
I think it's lycra, like a morph suit. Okay, so, sorry, I think Tilda, you were going to say something.
No?
No, it
No,
was me.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, Julia.
Okay.
So yeah, when Helenis asks, "Oh, is Rowan coming as well?" Badger's gonna go, "Oh, that's a good point. Everybody, it has been brought to my attention. Dragons are quite fiery, and I think we've all had enough of fire for, a lifetime. So it's totally up to everyone whether they come on the dragon hunt. Anybody who doesn't want to come, yes, Rowan, dragon hunt." Keep up. So anyone who doesn't want to come can help take the cart of supplies back, because we don't really want that getting burned. Also, I'm going to work very hard to make sure none of us get burned.
Wait, I'm made of wood. Is that an issue?
Mm-hmm.
Only if you get burned. Next question.
Okay.
I mean, do we have to fight it?
No fighting. No fighting. This is a stealth mission. This is a location mission. No one's going to fight a dragon.
Of course, so far 100% of our stealth missions have ended in fighting, so there is a possibility.
It's a very small sample so far, Zumbo. Let's not get disheartened.
100%, Badger. 100%.
Very small sample.
Could Slate do a nature check or a nature check or survival check to see red dragons? They particularly
Yeah, they will
they're
burn
stealthy,
you.
right?
They'll burn you good.
they're pretty. I mean, no, they want to
okay,
show off
so-
sometimes, or
So, yeah, red dragons are famous for
being highly proud.
very proud, very
Territorial.
arrogant, territorial. They breathe
Fire.
fire. They breathe a lot of fire. The fact, given, I mean, I don't believe the Warhounds have discussed this with the two Stalwart Adventurers, but from what Jick told you about the big flappy flap, it didn't seem to be acting like a territorial red dragon. Jick was explaining that the big flap was sticking close to the tops of the trees rather than flying high and proud like a tyrant would.
Actually, there's a point that should we mention this to them before they offer us up as bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No harm.
Well, so you're telling them that you've heard stuff about this dragon already, you mean?
Yes, they're like, oh, by the way, just so you're aware, we have been told that this dragon has been trying to be a bit more stealthy. It's a very unusual behavior, trying to stick to the top of the trees. So it looks like it's doing some kind of a surveillance thing. I'm not sure.
Elenis frowns as you say that, and I mean, this isn't the first time that I would have helped track a dragon, but if it's a red dragon, as the reports say, that is peculiar. And she cocks her head slightly, and come to think of it, I haven't heard any reports of villagers being attacked or areas of the forest being burnt. I mean, these are... I would argue that those are pretty standard things for a red. But, And she looks across to you, Hiram. Maybe the chances of being set on fire are much lower than they would normally be. She says with a
Maybe,
smile.
but my point is, if something a bit different is going on, maybe it's worth going back to the camp first, talk to someone who's been in the forest for longer and has better connections in the forest, gather a bit more information, and then try to hunt it down.
Do we know where the dragon is?
Well, as Helenus looks at you, Hiram, and considers your words, Balthazar, as you ask the question, Axakas turns and from the reports, it is a short way northeast of here.
Look at the map.
What
So-
direction is Agatha in from us?
So Agatha, so you're at Dead Luke. Agatha is, so if you were looking at the map, pretty much Fort Lymira is in between, in the middle of Mouth of Gargoyles, Stag's Deads, and Knightswood, like just kind of in the forest. So to get almost due
Dreadful,
east.
Yeah, so
Almost due east.
go east, and then we could just go due north to get to where the reports of the dragon are. So
So
It's northwest, right? The dragon.
slightly northeast. So again, looking at the map,
Yeah, that sounds good.
you might suspect that it's kind of in this area here. So it's approximately, if I get the ruler out, it's about, weirdly, 10, 12 miles northeast. So towards, starting to get towards the northern edge of the Kingswood on the road to, say, Evening Star. So it would. Yeah, Helenus thinks about it and then says to you, Hiram, that if you were to head to, thing is that they've got the job to do, so they're going to go find the dragon. Like, if you want to go to Fort Lymira and then try and be quick, and double back on yourself, they might be done by that point.
All right. So out of character,
Mhm.
why don't we sleep at the inn tonight? Wake up in the morning, leave the cart at the inn, go search for dragon. Everything goes well to plan. Head back to Dead Luke, pick up the cart, and then we go see Agatha. And then we'll have two things to report, which, one, we killed the dragon, and two,
we're not going to kill a dragon.
we killed the dragon, and
Found
two,
the dragon. says-
yeah, we've slain the dragon, and the blue one to boot,
Ooh.
and we have the cart of supplies. That's what
I like this
that's
one
what
because
the
it
plan
said
could be.
everything goes well. And so I think we should go with the plan that everything goes well in.
Yeah. One small issue I'm going to point out here is that we can leave the card at the inn, yes, but we are going to have a purple dragon problem fairly soon. Because charm person lasts for an hour, and after that, she is going to know that she has been charmed. And Amelie
by
might have-
Ameline, which is gone. Who's gone?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she remembers Amelie was with us.
But
Again,
we'll
we
be gone
can-
in an hour.
We can just deny our knowledge. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just saying there's a lot of unknowns in here, which I'm happy doing
plus,
this,
plus
but
it's her word against all of ours.
We could just
And
go
then
tonight with them and do it, so that way we're not at the inn. So leave the supply cart,
Just
go now on a dragon
Just
hunt.
got us really good rooms.
Well,
Yeah, but we don't want to get arrested.
so it is around about, I think we figured out it's around about 8 p.m, right? Given what Rowan has just told you about that poor purple dragon, that purple dragon is currently jogging southwest out of Dead Luke towards the Arborest Inn to get Ameline some medicine, because thanks to the Charm Person spell, this purple dragon is Ameline's best friend, and will do anything for Ameline's health right now. So this purple dragon is going to be 45 minutes ish southwest of Deadluke, and would then have to run back before anything can happen. So
at night.
At night. So effectively, you've got
There's
at
a good
least an
chance
hour
I'll
and a
never
half.
make it.
Oh my god!
With all those
Really
owls
dark,
around.
Carl.
That's. I think that's kind of what we decided last week. Is that purple are gone? Oh, it was the goblin that was gone.
Helenus.
I can
Helenus
throw
and-
this words as bandits.
Good.
So
The
Helenus
red dragon.
and Helenus and Axacast, you know, effectively, if you stay here and have a good meal, have a little bit of a sit down, you'll be able to benefit from a short rest. Helenus and Axacast are keen to look for this dragon at night, because
wow.
at least then they have the cover of night to conceal their position, and the two of them are absolutely fine going in the dark.
I'm gonna need a long rest. I've burnt through our spell slots.
I want my wild shape back. Also, can I ask, would Slate know anything about the area that kind of like would be helpful in this situation?
Slate, if you roll me a very quick, let's call it a, say a survival check. See what you know of the area.
Come on, with advantage?
I'm gonna say no on this instance. Not that you need it with a 20.
I did that
s-
to spite you. No, I'm kidding.
So, you think what's kind of up in that area? I mean, there certainly aren't any settlements or towns. You can't. I mean, the nearest place is clearly Deadluke, because it's only about 12 or so miles away. 20. You have a memory. What? You know that area of the woods is your old stomping grounds. Well, that's not quite true. It's where you grew up. And it's Baz's, your mentor's, old stomping grounds.
So, I mean, it's probably not got dragons in it, by the way. It's probably just like, nothing place. We probably should just leave it and not go there at all. But I mean, if we have to, I guess we can. But like, it's probably not the best place to go. It's probably really boring. Can we go somewhere else? Maybe there's dragons that we can find elsewhere, or we can lure the dragon somewhere else that's like more fun and less, just.
Talking about
Helenus.
fun,
Yeah.
is there any way you can let us know next time you are going to appear? Just, some kind of heads up when things like this will happen.
Blake.
Just be here.
Okay, at this point, Hiram is going to whisper, Slade, can you warn us next time when you're about to change, appearance? So we know it's you.
And Rowan whispered back like, I've been waiting to be here. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but there's some random guard having to wander out. I'm trying to keep the peace here. I'm just trying to do right.
Try harder.
Meanwhile, on Ranger's Way, this poor dark hair purple dragon.
Yeah, keeping the peace, eh?
Alright. So just to take it out, we have two options. Either we leave now with Agatha and Axicast, or we have a long rest and we leave early in the morning and they'll kind of maybe still be dark. 'Cause
So
it's like 8, so we'll be able to leave at technically at 4 a.m. we would be able to leave. 5
So they the two Stalwart Adventurers think about it, and they chew on it for a second, and if they say, if we leave before sunrise, then we can get some rest. And like as Helena says that, you see Axicas trying to stifle a yawn.
So shall we do that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we ought to, Ameline did a great job of getting rid of that nosy purple dragon, but when she comes back and these lots start asking questions, we ought to send them off in the other direction, really, so that we can then get a good night's sleep without being bothered.
Or given that they're all enthralled by Katya, you could just, carry on playing, just leave the inn and just wander into the forest, leading them away like the Pied Piper.
Yeah, I hear the northeast is good. Yeah.
Rowan puts her hand up. I have an idea. Why don't we dig a big hole and then cover it up again, and then put miscellaneous brunette woman.
What?
You know,
You dig a grave for Amelie.
died.
How do you think that's going to be helpful?
Because they're gone forever and it's fine. She's just gone. And then that person runs back like, oh, so angry. Oh, that person's, my vendetta is ruined. But at least I've had my revenge.
Just so you know, right now, I really miss Chiron. Okay, I am gonna go talk to the purple dragons.
Okay. So
They won't notice you.
Can you?
They can't notice you. They are enthralled and they only pay attention to
No,
Katya.
I'm saying, Katya, I would like to talk to them, please.
Well, so we're off the back of Enthrall, they're fascinated by Katya's performance, but it effectively only gives them disadvantage on perception. So it's the sort of thing where if you were to grab one of them and kind of shake them, they would kind of look to you. They'd be distracted, but you can still get their attention.
Okay, you guys keep on planning. I'm going to see if we can still decide, at least.
Also, it's a 1 minute spell. Just
Was it only a minute?
if that makes a difference.
In a
It
long
would.
minute.
Yeah,
It
enthrall
would
is
make
a
a
minute.
difference,
Yeah.
yes.
But then I guess at that point they're still just in the song at least. They're just not
Yeah.
completely focused on her.
Okay, in which case, Hiram is going to say, you guys plan, let me know what you decide on. I'm gonna go see if I can do something about that.
Okay. So as you approach the 5 remaining purple dragons, you notice that they're all kind of watching Katya. There are hints of confusion starting to creep across their faces as they kind of look at one another, and you see on their you realize they're starting to notice that one of them is missing.
I am going to sit down next to them and say, hello, I think we have had a bit of a misunderstanding there.
The recruits kind of look you up and down, and as you up close, as they look at you, oh wow!
Oh my god!
Oh
They
wow!
score
Okay,
high.
so the
Jesus
5
Christ.
dragons look at you, and as recognition spreads across their faces, as they roll 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 on their history checks, one of them starts, You're Hiram's Silver Sword. You helped dethrone the Mad Queen Raedra.
That's me, yes.
Please, grab a seat. Do you want to drink? Do you want to drink? My lord, do you want my drink? You can.
I'm okay. Thank you. That's very generous of you. I just wanted to clear the air, because I know there was a bit of a tension between our groups beforehand. I just wanted to let you know whatever you've heard. This is Warhound business. We are taking care of it. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. One of your friends is with our friend currently. She is going to be back in about an hour, I would say.
One of the other recruits looks to you and so it's one of the other purple dragons kind of shimmies on his stool a little bit just to kind of get as close to you as possible. Right? He's rubbing his arm against your arm, and between you and I, Lord Silversword.
You don't have to call me Lord. Just Hiram is fine.
No, you're as funny as you are brave, my lord. Between we don't really like her anyway.
I see. I'm still. I just want to let you know, seeing how she's still part of your group, that she's not hurt. She's fine. She will be back.
And the five of them.
I think.
the five of them nod. One of the other recruits, she looks to you and I tell you what, she's going to be so disappointed that she missed out on speaking to Lord Silversword himself.
I'm sure.
You're a hero, my lord.
Right. Thank you, I suppose. We have just done what everyone else would have done. Yeah. Hiram is very, very visibly uncomfortable by now. Just, yeah.
Well, I mean, of all of the adventurers that work within Cormyr, only you and the Warhounds. And she looks over her shoulder and kind of starts gawping at everyone else. Only you were brave enough to do what was right. I mean, the Queen, she would have. She's not the Queen anymore, is she? No, that Raedra would have torn this country apart, and you stopped her. You're a war hero before the war even started.
That's why I appreciate what you're saying here. You also need to know that this is not a question of bravery. It was the only thing we could have done at that point.
The fourth of the recruits nods solemnly and truly, the soul of a true hero, doing what must be done when it was needed.
Yeah,
my lord,
we
we will endeavour to emulate your actions to the best of our abilities as we rise through the ranks of the Purple Dragons, so we may be able to defend this country as stoically as you and your companions. We pledge this to you, Lord Silversword. And the dragons, hey, sort of like slam their drinks and take a swig.
Okay, thank you. You know what? If you're gonna do that, I want you to remember just one thing as we go into this war of sorts. Your enemy at the moment, they are still Cormyrian. Where you can, try to be kind.
You notice the recruits looking a bit concerned, like confused. But they're traitors. They broke their oaths.
They did. If you think about it this way, that makes them mistaken. But it's a mistake that can be changed. If you kill them, that's the end of it.
And like these young purple dragons just kind of like they start kind of looking at you, like mouths hanging, like catching flies. They're looking at each other. Some of them furrowing their brows, and All right, but it's the king's orders to hunt the dogs down. Those were his words.
I'm not saying not full of orders. I'm just saying, try to remember this.
If you're telling us to do it, Lord Silversword, then it must be the right thing to do. We absolutely, and they all start nodding emphatically at you.
Right. Okay. Thank you for your time. I will leave you to your drinks.
My name is Hiram, and this was my TED Talk.
It absolutely was.
Okay, and the purple dragons go back to their business, and like you can hear, there's this kind of murmuring going between the five of them as they kind of mull over your words, and you manage to, you return to the others to hear that the plan appears to be that you'll sleep, like get an early night, get a very early morning, and Hiram, perhaps to your worry, horror, they're going to go on the dragon hunt with the two stalwarts early morning.
Okay.
You also notice that Emily is very much among them as they're talking about how they're going to approach the matter.
Okay.
So, is there anything? Well, Catcher, you've finished your performance. There are cheers and hoops and hollers from the patrons as you finish your set, and you take after a couple of requests. You return to the table, and the group are currently in the midst of talking about the plan of action. But what would you like to do, or who would you like to talk to?
If I could have seen, like, in the night, if it's once everyone's retired.
Okie dokie. So
other than that, she comes and when she hears everyone talk about a dragon, she's been hearing at the table. She's like, I just want to point out that I think you're all insane.
Axakas smiles and isn't that part of the job?
Yes, I still am allowed my opinion of you're all insane, but
It is only insane if you get caught.
Yeah, cheer up, Katya. Maybe the dragon likes singing.
Rowan raises a hand like, can I just check? Are you the one that, set an entire inn on fire?
Oh,
your
shots
brother.
fired.
Your brother probably told you that, didn't he? Rufus.
Maybe.
What was your name again?
Rowan.
Rowan, that was it, yes. A lovable scamp, Rowan.
The two Stalwart Adventurers are looking at Rowan, and the looks on their faces are the sort when someone's just told what you think is a really inappropriate and not very funny joke. Like an in-joke. But clearly what you said isn't true, it's just a bad joke.
Kasia looks up to them and she's like, it was just a really good set,
And Helena's, oh, good.
Set the
And
floor
she-
on fire. It was just wild.
He gives a light thump onto Rowan's arm.
With the back of the loot. That's okay, so, is there anything else anyone wants to do before you collectively retire?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No, I do.
Yes.
I want to go back to. There's a place where underneath the tapestry, Slate has been writing kind of Slate was here, kind of things like just basically loads of graffiti, as Rowan hasn't actually done. And just write, Amaline for Queen. Amaline for Queen. Still possible? Question, exclamation mark, yes.
Okey
And
dokey.
that's it.
So under this beautiful elven tapestry is Slate was here, Ameline for Queen, still possible, question mark, exclamation mark.
Yes.
And then yes.
Yes.
It's a good time
Perfect.
for everyone.
Perfect.
And then before going, just wants to relook at the tapestry and just see, is there any kind of thing that's relevant? Like, I'm talking about basically, like, is there kind of any... Because this is a history of this area, right?
So
is there any kind of
the tapestry...
dragon-related things?
Yeah, so whilst the tapestry is 20 feet wide left to right, and it spans the whole width of the Blushing Maiden, basically. And whilst it's very stylized, it in a roundabout way sums up approximately 1500 years of Cormyrian history. Cormyr was founded in sort of like 2 DR. This is 1497 DR. And so at the very far left, where the tapestry starts, it shows Cormyr as being a land ruled by dragons. It shows a land of dragons cleared out by the elves of the Cormanthiran Empire. It shows the humans and elves, or the elves handing the lands to the Oberskir family and the founding of Cormyr. It stretches through. It shows the various like wars and victories of the Oberskir family. It shows the defeat of the Purple Dragon, and as you go more to the right, you get to more modern history. It shows more recently. It shows the Goblin Wars, which ransacked the country but were beaten back, and then quite towards the end, on the right hand side, it shows what you realize is a depiction of Princess Raedra, slaying the purple dragon reborn on the walls of Arabelle, and becoming queen in the aftermath of that war, following the death of her father at the jaws of the purple dragon reborn and the abdication of her brother.
I think, having seen that and kind of like, just going back and then re-looking at it with the kind of knowledge of the dragon and everything that's happened, actually it's kind of re-looking at it as if it's the first time they've actually seen it and gone text and it's gone, and then just skips off.
Yeah. I mean, the one other thing you notice as you look across the tapestries, the number of foes that Cormyr has faced as a nation is vast and varied. One of the recurring enemies of the nation is the Netherese Empire that sat to the north, in the deserts to the north, who very recently were finally defeated in the War of Shadows that saw Cormyr and the Elven Empire of Cormanthir combining together to defeat them and their Sembian vassals. And yeah, with the aftermath of that war, the Netherese Empire is no more. The nation is utterly destroyed. The civilization, utterly destroyed.
Cool.
Yes. So, everyone else starts making their way to bed. Rowan, it gives you a chance to kind of look at this tapestry before you trot off. And Catcher, you're left alone as everyone disappears off.
Catcher goes to her room first and
Okay.
tries to sleep, but can't. She's sort of like, she's in this really, because we've got like the really comfy rooms, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
We've got this really, you imagine it's one of those mattresses you get in, you sink into it,
Yes.
the whole.
So actually, sorry. When as you're led to the private, like the high end rooms, of which there are 6, the doors are unlocked for you by the bar staff. As you step in, the floors are festooned with rich plush rugs, In every room, there is an owlbear rug on the floor, so effectively just like the bed, with the head of the owlbear and the claws and whatnot. Each room has its own personal kind of little fireplace. The bed is made of rich, sturdy wood. The covers are soft and silky to the touch. Carl, as you say, as you kind of sit on the bed, you sink almost. Balthazar, your bed creaks slightly as you sit on it.
Yeah, Balthazar probably won't actually use the bed. He'll just
Okay.
stand and look at it.
Fair enough. You notice that on what is effectively the wallpaper, there's almost like an inlaid gold foil filigree. And as the doors behind you close, you realise you can only hear yourself. And it dawns on you that these rooms are utterly soundproof.
Okay. Imagine she tries to sleep for an hour or so, but just keeps tossing and turning in bed because as you're saying, this is deathly silent in this room. I guess all she can hear is Drew's muttering whatever else Drew gets up to. But in the end, she has enough. Grabs her stuff, grabs like the blankets from the bed and pillows, and slowly opens up the door and pads down the corridor. And Slate, I imagine at your door you just hear a rat-a-tat-tat on the door if you can.
I think at that time, Rowan is literally... This is the first time that Slate has ever been able to have the fancy accommodation. Every time that Slate has been here before has just been a passing visit. So this is next level. So Rowan's gone mad, bouncing on the beds, everything's trashed. It's just a mess in there because she's like, yeah! Like a kid that's just had sugar for the first time. This is Rowan running around. So when she hears a knock on the door, she and runs up and opens the door, and you see this beautiful room in a complete rock star trashed kind of way. And she's like,
Kat just standing.
what?
Kat just standing there with holding her blankets, and she sort of looks around, looks at the room, looks at you, and she's just like, Can I bunk in your room? Or what's left of it?
Okay.
She's like, thanks. Come on, Joel. And she comes in. She throws her blanket and the pillows down on the plush carpet and sort of just puts her stuff down. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm just all my life I've been living in bunks and stuff. And once we got to that tavern, the Serpent's End, and I got my own room, I thought, finally, my own room. And it's weird. And then here again, I had my own room, and it was too quiet. And my time at the Warhounds have been the bunk with you guys. So is it okay if I sleep here just so there's someone else nearby?
I mean, I guess it's fine. It's just I find it funny because it's like I did a lot of sleeping on my own in the outside air, and I guess bunking. There was always together with someone, and I kind of like being able to just run around and all the space. I mean, okay, so you can have that bit there, and then points to the smallest part of the room that's not been touched yet, but just smallest because this bit, and then actually kind of draws a line around. This bit's mine.
Okay.
Thankfully,
Cool.
Slate points. Well, Rowan points towards the lounger in the corner of the room because this is high enough quality, highbrow enough that it's got a lounger.
Rowan's literally drawing on the walls like Rowan was here.
Thanks, Slate.
No problem. It's fun to have friends. And then just sits there watching at the other side of the room, the furthest away, but just watching really intently, just to see what happens.
Katja literally bunks down onto the sofa, puts the big fluffy blanket she pulled from her room, and she's out like a light. But Drool's the one who's sitting there, and Drool is staring back at you, just tongue lolling, living up to his namesake and just staring back at you.
Oh, Well, then, let's just see. Hold on.
Oh no.
We must have. Come on.
Are you going to turn into a mastiff?
Yeah, God, no, I'm not going to turn to Mastiff, but I'm definitely going to cast.
Oh no.
Of course.
Okay. Right.
I mean,
Right.
just sitting in there, just
This is
looking
not.
at
This is not how I expect this to
Cut
go.
there. That's fine. Scene.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, just before the scene cuts, Draw's like, right, we have a lot to talk about.
The plan starts tonight.
And what is this about you trashing rooms? It's not okay. I do that, not you.
Okay, so Katya, you fall asleep to the sound of Draw making dog noises, and then it's really weird because like it seems like he's just making these like it's almost like his dog noises are changing in pitch, and it's almost conversational as you nod off. Okay, and yeah, Slate.
Nods off with a smile on her face.
Despite potentially not getting as much sleep as everyone else due to your conversation with Drool, you all wake up. Well, you're all awoken for approximately 4 a.m. in the morning, and you can all gain the benefits of a long rest.
Yeah.
Because of the quality of your accommodations, if you do not have them already, you wake up with inspiration.
Oh.
So
Win.
just a particularity about Balthazar's night. He would have spent the whole evening just standing like in front of his bed, just staring at it, and holding in his hand the staff, and he's probably just dreaming and trying to think back memories and trying to piece together things, and he's like the staff. Like, it's important, I think. I'm not really sure what, or it means something. And he's just like, those are his thoughts going through the head, and then it's 4 a.m.
Real quick, how was Zumbo's night?
I think he would have taken one look at the presumably quite high bed with a thick mattress and just gone, tried to get up on it without much success. And then eventually just dragged the sheets off the bed and kind of stretched them between the two walls and made himself a very luxurious hammock. And then taken his right leg off and laid that to one side and then climbed into the hammock.
Okay. Hero, how was your night?
Very, very restless. I think Hiram would have woken up a couple of times during the night from a couple of nightmares.
In fact, there are flashes of fire, the sound of clashing swords, the telltale noise of teleportation. And as you hear the impact of Garabrail appearing in front of Emily, as you sit up with a start and look around, you realise Emily is gone. What do you do?
Is the door open?
It is not.
Is the window open?
It is not.
Okay, can I hear anything?
All you can hear is the sound of your own heartbeat in your ears.
I am going to run out of the door and start looking for her.
As you throw the door open and run into the hallway calling her name, you hear a voice from behind you. What? And as you turn around and look behind you, hanging out of the doorway of your room is a half-awake Emily. One hair still in one pigtail still formed, the other mushed flat where she's been lying on it. And she looks at you and she's wobbling slightly, just rubbing one eye. What's happening?
Nothing. I'm sorry. Go back to sleep. Just go back to bed. And I start ushering her, but I'm very careful not to touch her.
As you usher her back in, she just heads back to the lounger in the corner of the room where you remember where she went to sleep. And as she slowly gets in and pulls the covers back over her, you realise that in your panic, you looked right at it and didn't register she was there. It almost as if you were blinded to her presence. And uneasily, you make your way back to sleep. And last but not least, Badger, how did you sleep?
Yeah, fine. Once she got to sleep, but she spent a few minutes at the beginning just kind of doing parkour around the room and springing onto the bed from all different angles and heights, just like seeing how high she could bounce.
Straight off the other side.
Yeah, little bit like Rowan's night, but less trashy.
Okay.
Just mainly bouncing.
Okay.
And then she finally went to sleep. Enjoyed the bed very much.
Okie dokie. So yes, in that case, at 4 a.m. prompt, the doors are opened by the bar staff, one of the inn staff, just to give you your morning wake up. So going from top to bottom, Zumbo, Hiram, Catcher, and Badger. As you come out of your rooms and you kind of congregate in the corridor outside these rooms, you see this innkeep go to the next room, open the door, and there's an intake of breath. Sorry, not Catcher. It'll be Zumbo, Hiram, and Badger. There's an intake of breath, and you hear this innkeep go, "By all that's holy, what happened in here?" As you realise he's looking into Slate's room.
As Ro wakes up, pretends to wake up. It's like, oh no! What happened here?
The innkeep just stands in shock. The next door opens and Balthazar wanders out, without the need for an alarm, it would seem.
A pillow goes flying towards the bar staff. 5 more minutes!
Yeah, the bar. So the innkeep takes a plush pillow to the head, and then just doesn't bother to close it. Well, actually, no, does close the door to Slate's room, and then kind of goes off to start preparing the rest of the inn for the day, muttering to himself about adventurers. But yes, as you come out into the main bar area, you find Helenus and Axicas sat at one of the tables with bowls of very modest breakfasts. They look up to you and they hand you each a serving of rations. Helenus, you see, is looking at a number of arrows in her quiver to check their sharpness, testing the tensile strength of her bow. Axicas is poring over her spellbook. And the two of them look up to each other, and in unison they say, "You ready?"
Yes.
Ready as I can be.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So as you nod in agreement, and as you go to leave, Helenus steps up to you, Hiram, and says, "Are you?" She stood in front of you to the side, and it's clear that she's talking to you, but she's not kind of looking at you. So effectively, she's talking over your shoulder, and she says, "Whilst I trust in our abilities implicitly, are you sure you want to bring her? She'll be safe here, surely."
There is nowhere safe at the moment.
Helenas frowns and I appreciate she's your squire, Hiram, but I'm not sure how comfortable any of us should be taking a little girl into a dragon's lair.
I can't leave her behind.
And Helenas then turns to look at you, and like there's a look in her eyes, almost as if she's trying to read you. And Axakas steps over, puts a hand on Helenas' shoulder, and you notice Helenas kind of relax slightly, and like to the two of you, the tiefling says, "She'll be fine," she says with this smile. And she looks down to Emily, and "I'll look after her," she says. We'll all look after her," she says as she looks down, and she kind of gives you, Hiram, a reassuring smile.
I think Hiram will try to smile back, but it's not very honest.
Okay. In which case, yeah, the two Stalwart Adventurers move to the front doors, open the doors of the Blushing Maiden to the town of Deadluke, and sort of like wait for you to pass through. And they look to you and say, "Let's go find a dragon, shall we?" And with that, we'll take a 10-minute break.
Sweet.
Okie dokie.
Cool. See you all
Cool.
in a bit.
In a
Okay.
bit.
Hello, welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Cool. So, a new day has risen. The Warhounds have teamed up with two of the Stalwart Adventurers, Helenas Fish and Axakas, and you have set off. You have embarked on your journey to find you a dragon somewhere in the King's Forest.
Out of character.
Yes.
Why are we doing this again?
It's a very good
I don't know,
question.
man.
Okay, so
Balthazar's happy to go for the ride, but out of character, why are we doing this?
the sooner Fish and Axakas can find the dragon, which is their current mission,
Right,
the sooner we can take them back to Agatha, because they're the
so that we can
mercenaries we're
complete our
recruiting.
side quest.
Yes.
Which
So this is our sub-side
That was my
quest.
point exactly.
there's no material reward for doing this. It's just why not?
It's
Yeah.
fine.
As
fine.
a out of character question, but also kind of in character, but also because that's just who we are. Could we not just kidnap them? That's like way easier than trying to kill a dragon.
That
Kidnap
doesn't seem
them,
like a good way
bring-
to get them on side, but
Also, I think
But
morally
fun.
speaking, I'm not comfortable with kidnapping people.
Also,
Yep.
Helenas mentioned that she was in. Well, there was partially a reason that she wanted to see her mother, and you're like, well, you know, two dragons, two fish, one dragon.
2 dragons, 1 brimstone.
So yes,
All right, back to it.
okay.
Balthazar does not ask these questions; he just follows. That's what he does.
So, yeah, as you head north up through, away from Deadluke. It's a peculiar time to be traveling through the woods. The sun is low enough that the light seems to be streaming, like hugging the undersides of the tree canopy almost. And there is this kind of strange, ethereal feeling to the forest. The cold kind of dewiness lingers in the air from the night before. You can hear the sounds of sort of like the local woodland animals and whatnot kind of emerging from their sleepy holes to begin another day. Badger, as you head through the forest, you're just kind of you're intimately struck by how at this kind of this dusk, this dawn kind of time, the King's Forest emulates the forests of Cormyr and Semberholm in particular. It all just feels very kind of unearthly and beautiful. Unless there are any specific conversations going on between you, the journey is quiet. Helenus and Axacas are keen to keep a relatively low volume amongst yourselves. Yes, Slate.
I think that Rowan would be trying to, with the knowledge of the area, be trying to direct them and throwing in useful information or just pointing out is a useful herb or whatever, but also trying to steer it away from kind of the sort of areas that they might know Baz would have frequented at one point.
Okay.
So trying to kind of misdirect and try and keep it in a sort of kind of fair area so it doesn't throw off and then anytime it's like, it would be like, so Stalwart Adventurers, Warhounds, would be like Warhound Venturers. There we go, team now, thing, and just pushing it off like every time to really as relevant as following this path. It's making it look longer than.
So as you're going along, like Axacas is listening to you and is utterly fascinated by you as like this wizard just kind of is looking you up and down, and like the rest of the Warhounds, you can see that Rowan's starting to kind of veer you off course, and then like away from Helenus, and every couple of minutes Helenus has to stop and this way, she says, kind of gesturing her head in the other direction, and Axacas kind of looking up and just sort of like hurrying back over to join Helenus. Just kind of
every time that happens, there'll be like a stamp, kind of like, and then kind of like, and then skipping along like as if trying to find the next bit where it can actually go. How can I get them away from this bit?
Yeah. So yeah, despite your valiant efforts, Helenus, you can see her like she's stopping, she's scoping around, and before long, you notice that the trees are beginning to thin out, and what you notice, Slate, is that the trees thinning out would imply that you're getting towards the edge of the forest, but from your intimate area of the forest that you're not at the northern edge of the forest yet, and before long you find yourselves stood at the edge of a large glade, an open glade that is almost circular in shape, some considerable distance from side to side, somewhere between, I can tell you, it's about 140 to 150 feet in diameter. And as you emerge from under the canopy of the trees, and you look up and you can see like the rising, the sun's beginning, coming over the horizon, and the yellows and oranges kind of piercing away the purples of the night sky. As you look up to the sky, you suddenly realize how vulnerable you all feel, exposed, such as you are. What you can see in the glade ahead of you are what appear to be a number of cast down pillars. There are a number of large kind of slabs of rock that jut from the ground, too large to be natural, but clearly they were not placed here in such a kind of a ramshackle way, it strikes you that this area is a ruin of some sort. But what dominates your view is the large, what appears to be a barrow at the northern edge of the glade. You can see a smallish cave entrance to this barrow. The barrow itself, the rocky barrow topped by a tree stump upon which rests a dragon's skull. What do you do?
Like, happily just jump. Well, a dragon can't be here because a dragon skull in front of a dragon's house, would they? I mean, it would be like putting a human skull in a house. That would be weird. Dragon necromancer.
Anton, you're mute. She's having a little dance.
Yeah, I go. I said, so what's the plan? Do we go in like 2 at a time, or like 3 and 2, or what do we do?
Zumbo would turn to Helenus, I think, and so right for you to get paid, right, for this dragon. What do we actually need to do? Do we just need to have proof of where it is?
Helenus, so you're turning around to talk to Helenus behind you, and like you can see that she's scoping the glade, but more importantly, like she's keeping her eyes up. And as she looks down to you, she says, we need to confirm the location of wherever this dragon is staying. The more precise an area, the better. And given that the purple dragons are best friends with mind-reading war wizards, it's not in our interests to lie. And she says, she kind of like claps you on the shoulder, and as she kind of looks ahead into the glade, she lets out a deep sigh, and it would appear that this might be the place, she says. And kind of squeezing past you, the 2 Stalwart Adventurers begin kind of tiptoeing forward into the glade.
Right, come on then, you lot.
Wait,
Let's get this over with.
would it not be better to go round the tree line or something? Zumbo!
Zumbo's already walking off, striding off.
Are we gonna have to do like interviews again?
What?
I mean, he's clearly got a death wish. Are we gonna have to start doing interviews again real soon? Because I don't know if I can handle those again.
DM Dan.
Yes.
Balthazar will have found a small shrub, ripped it out of the ground, and will just be carrying that in front of him, just hiding behind the shrub.
Okay. So, Balthazar, as you kind of follow after the others, like you notice that Helenus has an arrow knocked and like the strings half drawn. And like as she's pacing forward, you can see that her head is clearly on a swivel. Axakas is walking a bit more calmly, but has a spellbook open. Like her spellbook is currently open in her left hand, and you see her right kind of hovering over the pages as she walks into the glade. Yes, Slate.
Can I ask, with the stones that are about, is there any kind of carving, any kind of druidic marking explaining the area or anything? I think that would be the main.
Of course, yeah. So you notice that. Yes, there is. You are Ryan right now. On some of these stones, as Axakas and Helenus pass by them, you notice that on the nearest stone there are faded markings inscribed on the side of the stone in Druidic.
I would definitely start approaching them quietly.
Okay.
And be like to everyone. But not to the Stalwart Adventurers, more to the group.
Okay. So yeah, this stone here has like when Slate kind of Rowan points it out to you, you notice that there are like what look like natural markings on the side of the rock face. But yeah, Slate informs you that it is druidic. It's almost impossible, like invisible to everyone else's eyes, but yeah.
Balthazar can read druidic.
Oh, can he? Okay, in which case,
Wow.
Balthazar, as you creep along, you happen to look to the rock that sits to your left, and yeah, you see what appears to be a tribe name. It's almost like a clan symbol, if you will, inscribed on this rock. And looking ahead on the next rock, up to ahead of you to the right, you see another marking. Denoting a different clan symbol. What you notice is that the symbols are 90 degrees. Like they're 90 degrees rather than upright. And you believe that perhaps these stones, these large rocks, were not always laying down as they currently are.
So it's not a game of what's the time Mr. Wolf leaves.
No. Yeah, it appears that this place has fallen into ruin and these standing stones have toppled. What is everyone else doing? As the plucky Stalwart Adventurers, who are lower level than you, stride forward.
Wait, don't say that, Dan. I thought they were like level 12 badasses.
No.
Ooh. Good idea.
The Stalwart, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They-
So, what's
they
Catcher
stop the
what are
track.
Catcher and Drawl doing?
Watching Zumbo sort of just brazenly storm off,
Mm-hmm.
I think Catcher and Drool take the sensible approach and hide behind a rock.
No worries. Badger.
When the fire comes down, it'll get pushed aside by the rock.
Badger senses that her tactic of telling everybody to sort of go round the edges has failed, and so she starts zipping sort of from cover to cover, basically. So she's currently in the bushes, under that tree, just sort of looking for her next opportunity to make a run for the next rock.
Hiram, you've watched Katya, Rowan, and Drool duck for cover. You've watched Badger disappear behind a tree. Zumbo, Balthazar, and the Stalwarts are striding ahead. What do you do with Emily?
I think I'm going to send Emily to stay with Katja and Droll and Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
And he himself is going to join the away team.
Okay. So the in terms of the away team, are you all just following Helenis as next cast's lead? Okay, fine. Badger, are you sticking with them as well?
I'm sort of, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sort of
Well,
zipping between locations.
Yes, Ryan.
I'm going to go in the middle of everyone, and I'm going to cast, because I keep on forgetting about it, Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Thanks.
So-
How many creatures get it?
Each creature you choose.
Each creature you choose.
Wow.
So everyone.
Within 30. So if I'm moving, if you think I'm moving like here, well, sorry, excuse me, moving here.
Wait, just say you got everyone before.
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Cool. Okay.
Ooh.
That's amazing, isn't it? There's no limit on the number of creatures. Plus 10 bonus.
Balthazar looks like a tree now. Yeah.
So, yeah, Rowan, as you kind of twist your fingers to perform the incantation, Badger, you notice, like, as you kind of go around the tree, your footsteps stop, like the leaves underfoot stop crunching as you go around the tree. You even, like, perhaps Balthazar doesn't notice, but Zumbo, you definitely notice that the somewhat loud clanking behind you from the two heavy armored individuals seems to get decidedly quieter as the spell finishes.
Zumbo will definitely turn around to Balthazar and go, "Now, lad, well done. That's you've really coming on. You must have paid close attention last time we did this. Good lad.
The tree thing is working, you think?
Yeah,
I can
keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great."
Yeah, if it comes from above, they won't see me. They'll just see like leaves. They're just walking along, like with my umbrella tree.
So,
I love this.
as the away team keeps creeping forward, everyone else, you watch them as they get to the pillars in the middle of the glade. Is everyone staying where they are, or pulling up?
I'd be. Oh,
Go on now.
I was gonna say I'd be intrigued by every single. What's going on in every single one?
Okay.
So I'd be like
Catcher-
constantly just looking.
Catcher tells Emily to stay by the rock.
Okay. Emily stays by the rock.
More in with the rock, more behind the rock.
More in with the rock. Okay.
Badger's
The
Badger's
rock.
Badger's sort of leaning up against the rock to the right of the away team.
Okay. So, as the away team passes the pillars in the center of the glade, you notice Helenus come to a stop as she looks to the left, and you see Axakas kind of pointing over with her book hand. And to the left, you notice that there is what appears to be a large area of scorched earth in which lies what appears to be a half-eaten deer.
Oh dear.
As Helenus and Axcast, as Axcast kind of starts looking over it, Helenus turns back to look at the rest of you, and those of you that she can see, she'll beckon over. Which I think is everyone, actually, she can see. Rowan, are you keeping up or staying put? Oh, you're muted.
Elle.
If I notice that there is something going on after like getting distracted, runes and everything on the pieces of slate, that's the wrong word to use, pieces of stone, then I would wander over, kind of distractedly, but then go, oh, I guess, and get there.
So, Rowan, as you make your way up the glade, you notice that this rock up ahead, again has a druidic sigil of a third druid clan. But again, it is 90 degrees to what it should be. Yes.
Is there a value of a history check here? Druidic clan?
Yes, I suspect there is.
It's like as a pre-guess. Is this like Thing Valir? This is where the clans met.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find. Ooh. Nope.
Then,
Well, with a 10, I mean, yeah. So it's clear that they are different, different druid clans. The druids themselves aren't just a single community in the King's Forest. They are, they are kind of scattered out. But looking at these sigils and looking at the barrow ahead of you, you begin to wonder if this is in fact like their burial barrow for some of the more important druids. You've not been here before, but you've certainly heard of this place. simply called the Barrows.
I think from that, like, I imagine there'd be lots of stories about it revered. So Rowan's approach would be like rolling eyes, like, oh, this place.
Okay.
You know, like when you're on a history at school or whatever, and you're like, no.
Okay.
Like that.
So yeah, as you kind of carry on up to join the others, you can all see that this scorch mark and the half-eaten deer. Those of you who are a bit closer, perception. So Zumbo, you're the closest to notice, but in the cave up ahead, you can make out what appears to be it's almost like a traveler's camp.
Hold up, I don't think we're the first ones here.
So yeah, as Dumbo shouts out to you all, what do you all do?
Want to go inside?
Can we see any signs of? Does it look like a recently inhabited? Did you say it was a camp?
So it looks like you can see what looks to be almost like a. I mean, it's not like there's no tents or anything, but you can see what appears to be like a bedroll.
Okay.
But it's a bit, from where you are, it's not bright enough yet to be able to see clearly.
How fresh does the deer look, by the way? Is it kind of like within the last day or so, or is it too hard to tell with it being burnt?
So Catcher, you'll more easily see this, given how close you are. Or go on.
She asked, do we want to risk a little more light?
It's getting light anyway, isn't it?
It's getting lighter.
Lighter. But yeah, I guess she'll peek over the at the corpse. Ah, there we go. I guess it got brighter.
Magical. So yeah, as you
imagine the sun just crested the brow there. Everyone's just.
So in the rising light, you can see that the vast majority of the deer's fur has been burnt off. One of its forelegs is gone from the joint, and there are large rents from its flank torn out. Clearly, it's not been finished. It looks cooked, but the fact that there aren't any kind of flies or real kind of stench makes you suspect that it's relatively fresh. Yes, like
Did we have breakfast?
you did, yeah.
Okay.
Travel rations.
Well,
yeah.
I think the main thing would probably be just looking around, trying to find tracks, seeing where they go. I can do a survival check if you want.
Catcher gestures the whole. It's like, is this enough proof? Like, there's dragon? I don't think this was just people setting fire to it and then chowing down. This is flame, chew, claw.
What if they were really hungry?
So as you say that, you Catcher, you notice kind of Helenus, having heard Zumbo and Balthazar talking about it, you see her kind of stepping towards the barrow, looking about. Hiram, what are you doing?
I don't think I would do a lot at this moment, apart from taking out my sword and preparing for trouble.
My spider sense is tingling. Okay, so you draw your sword. Badger, what are you doing?
So we've heard that the deer is charred and half-eaten. Do we know anything else about it? Has anyone had a proper look at it?
Those of you who, any of you that are kind of within 5 feet of it, say, absolutely feel free to roll a check of some sort that you wish to roll.
I guess I want to sort of figure out what, a bit more about what actually happened to it. I mean, you could conclude dragon, but also possible other things could have happened. So I'm going to try and figure that out. What kind of check do you want?
Let's go with a histoire check.
A history check. Okay.
Oh, sorry. What am I saying? Sorry, I said history. I meant nature.
Okay. Yeah. Let's have a look. So that's a 16.
Okay. Catcher, are you dipping in?
I mean, Katja doesn't know enough about it. She just sees burnt meat, big teeth mark. She'll make her assumptions and step away. She'll leave more trained people to look at it.
If well, as I said, like with that, Rowan would be looking around for like tracks and everything anyway. So if Badger starts looking at the actual carcass, Rowan probably realise that that's probably where the main clue is, and start following up on that with some pointing out of like, oh, that's that and that's that.
Okay. Well, in that case, Slate, if you give me a survival check as you kind of inspect the area. A 15. Okay. So, yeah, as you see kind of Badger getting up close to this deer and giving it a look over, as you kind of scan the general area, you notice that there are, there is a mix of the lush kind of mossy forest ground being stomped flat by seemingly large feet. There are areas where the ground has been churned up by what appears to be large claws. And yeah, so as you're kind of looking around, and from the tracks, you can start to make out, you can start to get an idea in your head of how large this beast is. And effectively, as you kind of come to the realization, and Badger, you come to the realization too, because Badger, what you see is that the ground is heavily scorched in a relatively contained area. It would appear that this thing has been char-grilled from a very, very hot flame at close proximity. And given how the burn spreads out, it would appear that the flame came from above, like very close, but from above.
Cool and great.
And the two of you, Rowan, Badger, the two of you look at each other, and your eyes both say, "Dragon."
Well, we found the evidence. Let's go now.
Zumbo, you watch as Helenus begins creeping into the barrow.
Can I throw out an arm to kind of hold her back a minute?
Okay, yeah, she stops as she looks to you.
Yeah.
Go on.
Hang on a minute. Look, I'd rather you didn't get roasted. And he plucks Betty off his hat. And just goes, make yourself useful, and kind of overarm lobs her into the barrow.
What are you doing? What says Fish? What's Betty doing as you lob her into the cave?
I assume just like flapping her tentacles as she sails through the air. And as soon as she lands, Zumbo's eyes will kind of go deep marine blue, and he kind of goes rigid, and he can now see whatever Betty sees.
Okay. Does Betty have dark vision?
That's a very good question that I should have found the answer to before I threw her in the game.
She does. She has dark vision 30.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like I planned it.
Your latest attempt to get rid of this octopus that follows you around.
Yeah, I mean, Zumbo doesn't care at all, but...
So, Zumbo, you throw your familiar into the cave. What I'll do for the sake of ease.
Ooh.
Oh.
So I don't think anyone else can see, but Zumbo can. So Zumbo, if we imagine that you are Betty right now.
Okay.
She lands with a splop, and then immediately starts to like kind of plod around as best she can. And what you see inside this barrow is absolutely right. There are 2 bedrolls that look very minimal, very uncomfortable looking. But you notice they are both made of the same material. Like they are, they are of similar design. Looking to her right, Betty sees that there is what appears to be a box, like a crate, upon which stands a lantern. Zumbo, if I could have a tell you what, you're a well-travelled individual.
Yeah, kind of.
If I could have a history check from you, sir.
Okay, this is not Zumbo's strong suit. Yeah, 5.
There is a lantern on the crate off to the right.
Yeah.
You can see some sparse-looking supplies. There is a campfire, like a stone circle campfire, to Betty's left. And ahead of her is what appears to be a corridor, like a tunnel that disappears into darkness.
Are either the campfire or the lantern lit, or are they out? Okay.
They are out.
So in that case, Zumbo will command Betty to kind of, with her, like stealthily sneak forward until she wants to stay. He wants her to stay within 100 feet of him, because that's when he can communicate with her.
Okay.
But she'll go as far as she can without losing contact.
Given that Betty is not the best at traversing land, or the quickest at traversing land, Balthazar, what are you doing?
Balthazar will look at Zumbo
Mhm.
and closely monitor what he's doing. And just kind of go, oh, what do you see? Well, what can you tell?
So as you're kind of whispering, like as you're crouched down and whispering into Zumbo's ear, Zumbo, all like you're seeing the world through 2 fishbowl lenses as these octopus eyes kind of wobble around, looking in different directions, and you can hear this. It sounds like Balthazar, like 100 miles away underwater. But yeah, you could just hear the and out of Betty's kind of 360 fishbowl lens, you can see that Helenus, who has been looking at the now immobile Zumbo, a bit confused, has now headed into the barrow. And yeah, Betty watches as the Helenus kind of stalks up behind her.
Okay.
But Zumbo, yeah, you can hear Balthazar behind you, like asking you questions.
I think if Betty's seen Helenus just go in anyway, then he's going to snap out of it and sort of command her to come back to him, and he'll turn and answer Balthazar. Oh, sorry about that, lad. Was a million miles away. Let's get in there if she's gone in.
Your dragon?
Not crouching by the door.
Okay.
So Zumbo, as you say that, Balthazar, as you look at the cave entrance, you realise like you're going to struggle to fit into this cave entrance. But yeah, according to Zumbo, there is no dragon inside.
He does sound quite disappointed by that.
Hiram, what do you do?
Hiram is going to look back. Oh, there she is. Thought Emily was behind me. Never mind. I think first things first. He's going to tell Emily to go hide behind that rock, just in case.
This one here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she looks at you and I'm fine, you know, she says as she kind of grumpily stomps over to the rock. She's got a crossbow out. And like Katya, you see as this young half-orc girl kind of walks behind the rock and like slams her back against it and lets out a disgruntled huff.
She knows the deal.
So Hiram, yeah, as you watch Emily kind of take cover, what do you do?
You know what? I am gonna go join Zombo and Balthazar.
Uh-huh.
Ask, so can we see anything?
Just some bedrolls and campfire. Did I get a sense for how recently it had been abandoned, this camp, Dan? I didn't do a check or anything, so just a passing impression.
Well, tell you what, let's roll a survival check.
Okay.
Whilst you're rolling that, Badger and Catcher, what's Catcher doing?
Catcher turns around to Emily and she just gives her a small nudge to say, "Don't worry about it. Soon you'll be as, big and as grown as Hiram, and you'll be calling the shots."
You notice that as you say that, like Emily's doing that thing that kids do, where like her head's down, she's kicking at the dirt with her foot, just like kicking like effectively digging a hole with the end of her foot, and she does it. She like half nods at you, like she's heard you, but she's sulking a bit. And then Emily says loud enough for you to hear, "I don't understand why he doesn't think I can't handle myself."
Catcher sort of looks off and is like, "I don't think he can't think you can't handle yourself. It's just, it's a dragon. I don't really want to be here, but, someone's got to make sure that at least the story of these people getting burnt to death makes it out there. So, I have to go in, but if I had the chance to be in your position right now, Emily, yeah, I'd stick around by the rock. And if you like, I'll leave you with Drool. I'm sure he's, not exactly going to be the best in a fight with the dragon, are you, boy?" And Drool just sort of looks up and huffs.
Emily quietly mutters under her breath, "Whatever." Just with renewed vigor, keeps on digging her little hole with the end of her boot.
She sort of pats her shoulder and is like, "Well, you do you." And as she walks away, she sort of telepathically spikes back. She's like, "You got this, kid. Don't worry."
Emily looks for a moment at Drool.
He just looks up like,
and then, eventually looks over to you. Badger.
Badger looks slightly concerned that all the adults are walking away from Emily, and sort of says to Rowan as she goes past, "Watch the kid, will you?" And she's going to leap up on top of the barrow and sort of go to the top of it. So I'm having to sort of circumnavigate it for movement purposes, but basically she's just leaping up. And she's going to go right to the top and sort of have a look really at the dragon skull and just be keeping an eye on the sky from there.
So as you crest the barrow mound, you find what appears to be a tree stump. It's clear, like the roots that lead off its base are heavy and thick, and as they pierce the ground, it's clear that this barrow was built in the space under this old large tree's roots. the tree stump has actually been kind of chopped in such a way that the skull of this dragon sits atop it, almost like a helmet on a head. The dragon skull has been cleaned relatively, it's been cleaned of skin and muscle quite well, but it is clear that the bone has suffered from exposure for being here from a considerably long time. You also note how kind of large the skull is. As you stand looking at it, it dawns on you that this skull is as long as you are tall, and you have to take a breath for a second to contemplate how large the rest of the thing was in life.
Is each of its big teeth kind of about as big as my hand or my forearm or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wee.
You notice that some of the smaller teeth are missing, and you kind of wonder if perhaps they were taken as trophies. But certainly the larger front fangs are still in place, which just kind of adds to the ferociousness of this trophy. And yeah, as you climb up, and the sun crests a little bit more over the canopy of the hill. Crests over the canopy. You hear Helenis's voice as she emerges from the cave. If there's a dragon who's clearly been here recently, who makes camp near a roosting dragon?
Dragon spotters like to do that. They don't last very long, but they do like to do it. I mean, it's a hobby. Not everyone has it, but you've got to just. Everyone has their own thing, and that's fine.
Do we want to speculate about this? Not here.
Helenis. Yeah, sorry, go on, Zumbo.
Yeah, Zumbo would be looking to the skies a bit nervously, and his hand is very much on his sword hilt. Yeah, I reckon Hiram's right. Let's, if we're going to do this, let's get inside.
Can I ask, the skull, would that be telling of a druidic kind of burial? Is that to do with this, or is it a separate thing?
So, from where you're stood, as you look up and kind of inspect the dragon skull, so this thing is kind of tilted, so the snout's kind of pointing down towards the ground. But from where you are, it allows you to see the forehead of the dragon. And again, it's something that Badger would have likely missed, but you notice the telltale signs of more druidic writings. And this one isn't a clan, but a single name. Sky Shatter. And we'll have a quick history check from you, Slate. As you see the sigil of the druid Sky Shatter, you remember the stories of, she was a powerful druid in eons past. One of her remarkable victories was single-handedly slaying an older green dragon that was nesting in the King's Forest. And so great was the battle that she painstakingly flensed this thing, and took the legend says she took its spirit and soul and body unto herself, to then unite and rule the Druid Clans for a while, until her old age death.
After kind of realizing that, I think I'd go, oh, can we go now? This is just some old silly druidic ruin with like silly druid, like lord. Like, I just feel like we're not gonna get anything from this if we just stay here. It's just old history. It's already happened. I mean, Sky Shatter, what's happening there? Let's just go.
Rowan,
Boring.
Rowan, quietly.
What was Balthazar gonna say?
Not saying, dear, then can we have a look inside the barrel? See what's in.
Well, okay, so in which case, Hiram, as you turn to Rowan and quiet, you say, because Rowan is very loudly moaning to the skies. Hiram, as you turn and kind of tell Rowan off. In the distance, and Hiram, your head slowly turns to the south, and in the distance, see a shape.
Oh boy.
Of a flying kobold.
And
a hawk.
Hiram, your eyes open wide as you see a large red winged reptilian form rest over the canopy, hugging the canopy, and emerge 40 foot over the glade. And I would like everyone to roll me initiative.
Holy shit.
Boy.
Now you've done it, Rowan.
If anyone dies, I'm going to remember that in the beginning of this goddamn session I said we should not take this quest. I'm just putting that out there again.
Can I just say, with Pass Without Trace, is this still gonna be like a thing?
Quite possibly. Well, Emily's going to roll. Hiram and Slate, have you two rolled?
Not yet. I'm just.
We can all,
not
we can all take the hide action if we want to.
So,
Nice.
this. Yeah, so you watch as this dragon swoops over the edge of the canopy and kind of enters into the glade somewhat. You, well, as you're out in the open, apart from at this point Emily and Drool, you see this beast, this giant, this large red worm spots you, and its eyes narrow as it at the sound of the roar. What does Drool do?
Using fresh for catcher, she's suddenly going, "What's the plan, guys?"
Oh yes, immediately after catcher. Yeah. So
Drool's gonna go after Catcher, but Catcher's gonna ask, "What's the plan, guys?"
Can we respond?
yeah.
Wait, get inside the cave!
So yeah, Catcher's going to 1, 2 into the cave. Oh, cheers.
Get Emily inside the cave!
And Drool, yeah, she's gonna whistle for Drool, who'll be nudging for Emily, sort of like running around Emily's legs and barking. So Drool's gonna go after Emily.
Okay.
Is he not going to do that thing where he gets between her legs and hustles her onto his back?
Oh yeah, she could if she wanted to jump on his back and use him as a mount. So yeah, Drool's gonna wait till after Emily's turn.
Okay.
So if Emily wants to leap on his back, he can use his 40 feet of movement to run her into the cave.
Slate.
Is going to follow suit in a very careful way, but I think as it goes past, kind of looks at the bedroll, just catches eye of the bedroll and kind of looks at it and just takes a double look at it just to see if it looks familiar.
So the bedroll in the cave, sorry, yeah?
Yes.
As you run in, let's do I think it's going to have to be a history check again as you inspect, very quickly glance at the bedroll. So it's a bedroll. It's not a very nice one, but it is one. They look the same. But
Then just hides wherever.
You're running in, yeah?
Yep, definitely running in.
Move your token. Witness the power of Foundry.
Love the power of Foundry.
Oops. Collides with one wall. Let me try again. Oh.
There we go. And into the cave.
There we go.
Boom. Okay, so
I made it.
Slate runs into the cave. Badger, you are on top of the barrow. And from where you are, your eyes draw, like, because the dragons, you're somewhat closer to the dragon in terms of verticality. But as you look, you notice that whilst this dragon's pulled its wings in as it kind of speeds down in towards the glade, as it lets out this deafening roar, and you notice that on the dragon's back appears to be a humanoid who appears to be controlling the dragon via reins. And you notice a second figure behind the first, and as your brain tries to comprehend it, you feel a surge of hatred flow through you, and you notice your arm begins to glow.
Oh boy.
And in your head you hear, "They are here." What do you do?
I don't think Badger would run into the cave until everybody else was in. So can I delay or ready an action to jump down and run into the cave as soon as the last person's gone in? Is that possible?
Yeah.
But before the dragon moves, please.
Okay.
So yeah, she's just gonna stand there yelling, "Get in, get in, get in!" And then get ready to jump down.
Okay. Hiram, you've just heard Badger shout. Like there's been a flurry of activity. You've just heard Badger shout, "Get in, get in, get in!" You've just watched Katya run past. You've watched Slate run past. What do you do?
How far away is Drool and Emily?
Drool and Emily are about 25 feet away. Anyone?
Oh, god damn it.
Just hold your action and then you'll move on your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be that.
So you're holding your action?
Yeah.
Okay. Emily, so as you stand and as you stop for a moment, you see Emily, who's got her back to this rock, look at everyone a bit confused because it's just gone chaotic. And Emily confusedly steps out from behind the rock into the open, and you see her head slowly crane up to look at this form as it starts flowing, swooping down towards her. And you see her start to visibly begin to shake as wisps of fire begin emerging from the corners of this red dragon's mouth. And she freezes. Zumbo, what do you do?
Yeah, Zumbo would be backing into the cave, sweeping up Betty in one arm as he goes and plonking her back on his hat. Probably like scrabbling through one of the taller people's legs to get behind them.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, if you want to move yourself into the barrow, and Axicas, like she's in the middle of the chaos. Everyone's running around her. She turns and sees you, Hiram. She follows your eye line, and her gaze turns to Emily, who's just. And you watch as Emily drops, like her crossbow falls out of Emily's hands, and Axicas leaps over the pillar, grabs the half-orc girl, and all but throws her in your direction in an attempt to drag her into the cave for you. Well, drag her into the cave. And as Axicas kind of pushes Emily into your arms, as she, in the panic, she turns, she trips on the pillar. Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will. Question: will he have noticed Axicas trip, or is he too focused on the dragon? Can I make a perception check?
You
to
absolutely can.
Determine that.
You absolutely can.
Where can I? Hold on. Character perception.
There you go. It's in the chat. Never mind.
Yeah. Will it tell me when I've noticed her trip or not?
Yes. Yes, you would have. So yeah, as you turn around, you've just seen Axicas push Emily towards Hiram, and Hiram kind of grab. You notice Emily hit Hiram, and Hiram. It almost looks like Hiram's been hit by a lightning bolt, like a shot. And just doesn't really seem to know what he's doing. But in the effort of pushing Emily, Axicas is in. Tripped on this fallen rubble.
So we'll go to her and go, hey, quick, get up! It's coming, quick! And we'll go to move and try and drag. Can I drag?
Mm-hmm.
Drag her back one.
Yep. So it's double movement if you're dragging her, basically.
So I can drag her right to there, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's about right. Cool. That's my turn.
I'm just going to quickly step in. Drool. Drool's turn was for when Emily had a go.
So Drool's going to bounce, grab the crossbow, and then bounce. Just leap straight into the cave.
Okay.
With his crossbow dragging behind him, just like pulling it through the dirt.
Okay. So Balthazar, you're currently dragging Axicas. Helenus takes a look, looks across the glade at this dragon, and in one fluid action fires a shot from her bow. Which
Helenus is a badass.
As the arrow flies through the air, you watch as it begins glowing with a bright light. It's a bright light similar to what you've seen Hiram's sword do in combat, and this arrow strikes, hits the dragon kind of in the chest, and the dragon roars as it kind of veers off slightly from the blow. And Helenus shouts for you to get in, and she disappears into the barrow.
Dragon's dead. Well done.
The dragon. So go on. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
I guess didn't hear him hold his turn back. And
Hiram and Badger
Badger.
both held turns. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I'm assuming Hiram's gonna. Well, I'm assuming Hiram's gonna drag Emily in. Is that fair to say?
Hilda?
Sorry, I was muted.
Has Hiram got Emily at the
That's the
moment?
question.
Right.
Yeah,
Dan,
Dan did say he threw him into him at Kiram's arms.
I know. I have a different question for
Hiram.
Dan.
Yeah, so when Emily hit Hiram, Hiram's arms almost flew back away from the girl.
But I didn't drop her.
No, she's just like stood in front of you, so if you want to, you can scoop her up and sort of drag her with you.
Yeah, I'm going to do that and then run into the cave.
Okay. So Hiram disappears up into the cave, dragging Emily.
Okay.
Cool.
Just seeing two of my friends a bit exposed. I guess Badger's gonna drop down. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to do a little roundabout thing. Wait, there we go. So she drops down.
Yeah.
So Balthazar, you've got Axacas, have you?
And I've just dragged her. I haven't got her.
You've dragged her. Well,
She's,
I guess I'm.
yeah.
So how much movement have I used, Dan, to drop down?
15 foot.
15 foot. Okay. Can I? Can a small creature drag a medium creature? Is that
You can help. If the two of you are dragging Axacas, then you move at full speed, basically.
okay? But do I? Balthazar's had his movement.
Between
So-
the two of you, you'd be able to drag her in, yeah.
Yeah. I'll help drag her in then.
Okay. In which case, as the three of you pick Axacas up and you make a dash for the cave, Badger, as you look, this dragon on its turn begins swooping in with a roar. You see the puffs of smoke kind of emerging from its cheeks, and as you dive into the cave, a line of fire hits the ground and rips across the grass towards you, and you manage to dive into the cave just as the fire flicks behind you. And with the sound of roaring echoing in your ears, you find yourself in this cave, and it dawns on you, well, the dragon is still outside. So we'll go round the houses. Catcher, what do you do? You find just to describe. So you find yourself in this small kind of cave-like area. To the left and to the right are two very. These bedrolls remind you actually of the sort of bedrolls you might see purple dragons using. Like, they're almost military grade in that they're so uncomfortable and utilitarian. You notice that they're of the same design, but it's not a design that you recognize. Not initially, anyway. Well, unless you want to make a roll.
No, I think she just sort of like gets further back into the cave as Drool comes in dragging the crossbow.
Okay.
And obviously, I imagine that the entrance to the cave is just illuminated, and there's been a big wave of heat.
Yes, yeah. So you've all been blasted with a like hot air as this fire has just like licked behind Badger's toes as she leaps into the cave.
The actual Neath! An actual goddamn dragon! I mean, what the Neath are we thinking? Fighting dragons!
Keep running! It's just outside!
Actually, Catcher, what we are going to quickly do is roll you a perception check.
18.
Not only was it a dragon, was there someone on it? Is there someone riding that dragon?
I'm probably going crazy here, but are there people riding the dragon? Not only are there Neathing dragons, but there are Neathing people and they're Neathing backs!
So, as Catcher goes into an expletive-filled rant, what does Rowan do?
Rowan's eyes will turn a deeper shade of green as things start to cool. She will cast Entangle and cover the I guess there would. I imagine that there would be some roots and sort of leaves, vines around the cave.
Yeah.
Would be pulling them towards each other to try the cave entrance with vines and entangle.
Very good. Okay, in which case, yeah, so Rowan, it's going to take a little while of you, like it won't just be a one turn thing, but as you start, as you start casting the magic, everyone, you feel the cave start to shake around you. And yeah, you see these large roots from the tree above start to kind of twist and pull to almost like a pair of arms to begin shielding you. Okay, so that's Rowan. Zumbo.
Zumbo would just be keep backing away, I think, and let's get further in, shall we? We don't know how far that thing can breathe. And he's backing away to be over here somewhere.
Okay. So as you're backing in, Balthazar.
Balthazar will turn to him and go, "Alright, so what do? We get out, we wait for it to come in, and then we hit it, and then we'll slay the dragon, right? So you count it off, and then we'll go and charge." And he'll wait for you.
I'm assuming Balthazar's got his back to the door because the door's just the entrance is iron grouting closed.
Yeah, possibly, and try to convince Kirim to go and kill this dragon.
Okay, speaking of Hiram, how do you respond to Balthazar begging you to step out into the open to fight the dragon?
Actually, as the roots appear behind us,
Mm-hmm.
Hiram feels the heat behind him, feels the weight of Emily in his arms, and he falls to his knees. And you guys see him drop Emily, clutch at his chest, and starts to hyperventilate.
Okay. So those of you who turn to see, Hiram is on the floor, and you see Emily frozen, just paralyzed with fright.
Balthazar will pick up Emily and take her away from the entrance. Then.
Okay. And Balthazar, as you pull Emily away, Axakas kind of drops to one knee, grabs you, Hiram. Axakas and Helenus step down and kind of take an arm each of you, Hiram, and sort of like kind of lift you up and come on. This isn't the time to stop now, Hiram. As they kind of try to pick you up and move you further into the cave. And Hiram, as you're kind of pulled away from the cave, you watch as through these the vines stop moving as Rowan's casting the spell, and you see these vines begin to close. You watch as this winged figure comes back round, and as this thing just begins flying straight at the door, you see another gout of flame rip out of its mouth, and the fire starts to lick between the roots, which, Rowan, you realise start to char and burn. And then there's a heavy boom as a dragon shoulder barges into the barrow entrance, and you hear the sound of the rocks around the entrance begin to shift and creak. And as you see stones and bits of debris start to fall from the ceiling as the Rowan spell twists the roots out of their supporting structure, and the dragon knocks the entrance loose. And it is abundantly clear the roof's about to collapse. What do you all do?
Head further in.
Yeah.
GTFO.
Badger's gonna grab Rowan's wrist and start running.
Okay.
Wait, so we're not fighting the dragon? Carrying Emily. What?
Into the cave!
Alright.
If the spell is concentration, then the minute that the concentration is knocked, surely the roots disappear, right? Completely.
So if
Which
you're
would then
grabbed,
trigger more.
if you're grabbed, whoa. Ooh.
Sorry for ruining.
No. So, in which case, yeah, Badger, if you're grabbing Rowan's hand, like arm, and kind of dragging her into the cave, Rowan, your concentration slips and the roots begin to kind of start to pull apart, but now there's rocks in the way and they start to jiggle about, and some of them start bending and breaking because of the fire damage, and yeah, you see larger and larger bits of dirt and clods of earth and stone kind of starting to fall down and hit you on the hit the tops of your head.
Oh.
And as that said, Katya and Zumbo appear to be in the lead, and ahead of you, you realise is pitch blackness.
Katya pulls out her moon sword.
As you pull out your moon swords to give you some light, I can sort that as and when. Are any of you staying behind?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Right.
All running.
So, Balthazar, with you have Emily under your arm. Hiram, you're kind of your legs start to work as you kind of clumsily get dragged along by the two Stalwart Adventurers. Rowan, you're pulled along by Badger. And as you get further and further into the cave, you hear the sound of debris chasing you as the dragon continues its physical assault against the barrow entrance in an attempt to get to you. And as the cave is illuminated only by Katya's moonblade,
We're going to get a lighting effect. A famous foundry lighting effect. Yay.
a famous foundry lighting effect. There is this. You hear the sound of the barrow entrance giving way entirely, and a large boulder collapses down behind you. Seal you in.
Oh boy.
No, no.
Well, I guess we ain't going out that way.
And as you pick yourselves up, dust yourselves down, coughing and spluttering, we shall call it there.
Woo! And then next session, we fight a dragon. Maybe.
It's the dragon.
Maybe
Maybe
the
the
dragon-
Balrog moment.
Maybe the dragon died in that,
Oh, yeah.
that
Who's
rock
Gandalf
fall,
then?
and then afterwards we
Yeah.
dust ourselves off like
Also, I vote
we
no.
killed a dragon.
The next session is steal a dragon.
Yeah, it's true.
I love the dichotomy between how keen Anton is to fight this dragon and how not keen Balthazar is.
No, actually, Balthazar
Actually,
was
Balthazar was
like,
slightly keen there, yeah.
he was like, yeah.
He was
this is
keen
what
for
they
Hiram
can
to
do.
fight the
Someone
dragon.
else do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Hiram is the least keen to fight this dragon.
Probably most capable and least keen.
Cool.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session number 5.
Yeah.
Yay.
Love me a set piece action scene.
Everyone loves a cutscene. So,
I think this music, honestly, Dan, sorry for interrupting, but this music does make me think every time that we're about to gain a level.
yeah, you need a few more sessions of that.
Oh,
I know.
no.
I mean, I think it will. Everyone's really looking forward to the next undisclosed level that you guys are due to reach. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed, and I think I'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you then.
See you next week.
See you later.
Bye.
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 Well. After that lucky escape, our heroes will have to figure a way out of this mysterious barrow. And they may have faced a dragon, but they haven't fought it. So do you think they count as real adventurers yet? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching through to the end of the episode. It means a lot to us all. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and tell everyone who you think may be interested about us. The more the merrier. We release new sessions on Sundays and new shorts and TikToks on Wednesdays. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and if you want to watch another video, there's one over there. Real Adventurers subscribe, which you can do by hitting the logo over there. Other than that, stay safe, and until next time, may the realms endure.